Hello guys, I am Max from Nepmax Gaming. So today's video is about my top 5 secondary weapon in Warframe. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, it would help me a lot. So without any delay, let's begin. In number 5 we have Pyrana Prime. The Pyrana Prime is arguably one of the strongest guns in the game. It might have a lackluster status chance of 3.6%. Yet the gun's raw damage output is so high that it can brute force through most forms of damage resistance. Excellent base damage and critical stats make the Pyrana Prime a great workhorse weapon, further amplified if you get a triple kill. After you land 3 quick kills, you get an ethereal Pyrana in your other hand for a few seconds, doubling your magazine while increasing your fire rate. Clearing hordes of enemies becomes trivial when the Pyrana Prime is in its dual-wield state. With that said, this gun's lack of status effects does hurt its viability in Steel Path. It also needs to frequently reload while a fire rate mod is installed, something you can counteract with Arcane Pistoler or a reload mod. So long as you bring an armor-stripping Warframe and have a means of reloading this weapon quickly, or not at all, this gun is nothing short of S tier. Now moving on to number 4, Sporelacer Kitgun. Sporelacer Kitguns are created by combining a Sporelacer barrel with a secondary grip and magazine. These kitguns unleash a volley of spore sacks that explode, dealing a massive amount of toxin damage to anyone caught inside the blast radius. Since these weapons can be fired rather quickly, the Sporelacer excels as an ad-clearing weapon in tight corridors. A few shots from this gun are enough to kill enemies in high-level content and even Steel Path. Those tired of the Kuva Nukor or more precise secondaries should craft a Sporelacer secondary as soon as possible. Now moving on to number 3, Tenet Cycron. Many Kuva Nukor fans were looking forward to the Tenet Cycron, the Corpus take on the renowned Kuva Nukor secondary. Both function similarly. They fire a beam that applies status effects and chains between targets. What makes the Cycron different is its higher status chance, battery-charged magazine, and innate heat damage. Is that enough to make the Tenet Cycron better than the Kuva Nukor? No. The Kuva Nukor's absurd 5x critical multiplier and innate radiation damage make it far better suited for slaying targets in Steel Path. The Tenet Cycron is a slightly worse version of the Nukor, sacrificing potential damage output for more frequent status procs. Don't let the comparison dishearten you. The Tenet Cycron is still a beast of a sidearm, applying hundreds of status procs in the blink of an eye. Crowds will struggle to survive against hundreds of heat procs and the gun's good base damage. It might not top the Nukor, yet the Tenet Cycron manages to carve its own place in Warframe's secondary meta. Now moving on to number 2, Epitaph. Do you love weapons that deal millions of damage a shot? Do you love weapons that have large AoE explosions? If you said yes to either of those questions, you need to build the Epitaph immediately. It's the only secondary in Warframe that is arguably a side grade to the Kuva Nukor. Sevagoth's signature arm-mounted crossbow releases massive AoE blasts that always inflict cold when uncharged. You can use this mode to apply quite a few status procs to crowds, weakening them for your charged shot. The Epitaph's charged bolts deal cataclysmic damage, featuring amazing base damage and great critical stats. Direct shots always proc impact, giving each shot a 70% chance at applying slash if you're using the hemorrhage mod. Simply put, there aren't many enemies in Warframe that will survive a single charged shot from this weapon. Now moving on to the number 1 spot in the list is Kuva Nukor. After players started obtaining the Kuva Nukor from Kuva Liches, it became clear which weapon was going to dominate the meta until further notice. The Kuva Nukor is a potent mix of the Atomos and the Synapse. This weapon chains its damage between targets whenever it makes contact with an enemy, a mechanic that automatically makes it one of the strongest guns in the game. What makes the gun truly powerful is its 50% base status chance. Modding for status chance allows this weapon to inflict hundreds of heat or gas procs on a target in a few seconds. It also has the highest critical damage multiplier in the game at 5x damage. Obtain sources of additive critical chance such as Harrow or Arcane Avenger to turn this already great weapon into the strongest secondary in Warframe history. So guys, that's it for the video. This top 5 secondary weapon is from my perspective. If you think I have missed anything or if you don't agree with the weapon choice, please comment down below. If you guys want to see more of this content, then please subscribe. I upload every Friday. So guys, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.